that shit. I'm talking this shit, man. Fucking bitches. Yeah, talk about some of these current events and shit, man. Yeah. First of all, I'm gonna say it's a good weekend of fights and shit. Good weekend of fights. Uh, yeah. Know they got some haters out there, but I thought the weekend was pretty good for the fights. You know, especially folks having to come out through and fight on a nice little holiday. You know what I'm saying? But we always got haters out there. Just boxing's dead and this and the third. You enjoy it or you don't enjoy it. That's just what it is, bro. Shit, everybody ain't gonna be fucking pleased. Um, yeah, you know me. You know how I do. Put something on this motherfucker real quick. You know, put some poke, burn the hell out of these motherfucker the old shit off, and with the motherfucking new. Hell yeah. Uh, yeah, it was a pretty good weekend, man. Uh, I know people talking about some Tank Davis shit, man, but you know, people got to stop making videos on that dude and shit like that until he come out with an actual bona fide fight date. You know what I'm saying? Talk about something else. You know, I thought y'all was done talking about motherfuckers that fights that ain't coming to fruition and shit like that. I thought motherfuckers was done talking about that shit. You know, but you know how it is. People can't be helped. You know, people can't be helped and shit. So they gonna sit over there and talk about some shit that ain't even gonna happen 9 times out of 10. So I'm making some tacos, but I'm gonna put these on the motherfucking. I'm gonna cook this meat on the motherfucking grill, for real. Y'all know how I get down. You know what I'm saying? Put that juice back on them. Yeah, put that juice back on them. Yeah, you know, drizzle them. I cut it too thick, but I was rushing, so. Cause eyes hungry, boss. You know, eyes are hungry. So let that do what it do. Uh, yeah, yeah. Then what else to talk about? I forget the young man's name, but they say he's 19 years old. They say he went out with some people he knew were friends on a boat, and he didn't make it back home. They found him in the creek or river somewhere, dead. Um, I don't, and, it ain't got nothing to do with what race of people you go with on a boat or you go with in the woods and stuff like that. But I would tell you this: it's who you go out with. Um, I've been out with I was white people being the only person on the boat, only black person on the boat, many of times. Had no problems. Uh, some experienced boaters, some not experienced boaters. Um, but I would say is whoever's the skipper of that motherfucking vessel need to be making sure that you know everybody makes it home safe, or uh, and that everything on that vessel is going down safely. You know, and if somebody can't swim, they damn for sure need to make sure that they keep an eye out for them. People keeping an eye out for them. That's just the name of the game. I've been on boats with Brandon Ground where I had to get out and push the boat. I've been in boats where the boats made it on land. I had to get out and push the boat. Uh, been on boats that start taking on water. Been on boats that had to get towed back. Uh, been on many of boats uh, where things that didn't go right, you know. But when you have an experienced skipper, uh, you know, calms people down, make sure that they get back, make sure they got USA tow, make sure that everybody gets back safe. Now I've been on boats where I have or other people have switched boats. Uh, Usually when that happens is you meet another friend at a place and everybody else is wanting to go back, or you just know more people on the other boat, so you get on that one and y'all usually meet up somewhere else when you get back, or at least phone and say, hey, I made it back. um, because obviously he was 19 years old. I'm pretty sure they couldn't really tell him what to do. But I've been on some boats where it says like, no, you came with me, you leave. You leave, we all coming back on the same damn boat. Now that happens too. Um, but I never heard of or experienced somebody being less of knows what happened to the person. The police do know more than what we know, uh, but people would be genuinely. I mean, I've seen it. People were genuinely concerned about if the person made it back, and we were getting ready to load up to go look for the person. You know what I'm saying? People making phone calls and texts and seeing if the person made it back. Sometimes that's what happens when you're on a boat and somebody gets drunk and they want to switch boats and then switch too many times or swam back or something like that. You know, you got to bring people load up and we bring the cavalry come get you. You know, but I never been on a boat to where everybody on the boat said we don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? He got on another boat and that's it. Y'all didn't know it. Y'all didn't know them people. Y'all didn't notice what kind of boat it was. The whole number, the number on it, the people on that boat. And when y'all did go to such and such locations, was other boats out there had people on there that everybody knew or he knew and stuff like that, because somebody else had to see something. That's just me. Somebody else had to fucking see something, and I don't think it's just the people on the boat that he was with need to be looked at. Um, there's people out there. Everybody's there's usually some people out there taking pictures, taking videos, showing everybody else what's happening or how they doing with their boat life. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But usually the prime suspect is the last people that seen the person that they can find. And that's the people who said he got on another boat. They should be suspect number one. And we all have seen how people get done with being suspect number one. It's either good or it's bad. But it's always bad. It said good or bad, but it's always bad. We've seen it time and time again. We've seen the number one suspect photo get blasted all over the internet, and then come to find out wasn't the number one, wasn't a suspect at all, and that person's life ended up becoming ruined because the damage is done. Because people ain't forgot. People still probably thinking that motherfucker did it. Because they don't give the same time of day when it comes to retractions of suspect number ones or ones. You know what I'm saying? They don't give the same time of day when it comes to correcting that, but they would definitely run your ass through the mud, especially on social media. Now there's a slew of motherfucking racists out there on social media, slew of them, man. And with this administration they kind of making it, with this administration in this day and age of social media, it seems like they giving them they each and every day they making this shit a okay thing, and they trying to make it an everyday thing. You know, people try to say race doesn't matter in 2026. Well, it's still on the job application. also on the thing when you go register to vote, um, voting season, they break up the demographics. Um, you know, so you can run, but you can't hide. You know, you could bleach, you could cream, you could do whatever. You know, but all it takes is one little bitty drop, and it's a motherfucking wrap. Use up, you know what I'm saying? You know, you could try to go the Clarence Thomas, the Brian Donalds and the other dude name, the Cannon Stones. You could try to go that route. You could try to shake it, but they always but folks is always gonna remind you. I mean, you got you got Nick Fuentes, you got all them other cats. They gonna remind your little punk ass. You know what I'm saying? And I keep trying to tell y'all motherfuckers, nobody likes a motherfucking sellout. Nobody. Nobody. They probably over there laughing at your motherfucking ass to the parties that you not invited to. You know? So I'm pretty sure the group of people that he was with, that he left, I'm pretty sure the reason why they're not saying anything is because, you know, uh, it don't look good. It don't look good, and it don't look good whatsoever on their part. Um, and I'm pretty sure if they have a lawyer, the lawyer is telling them the same thing. It don't look good, bruh. Yeah, it don't look good, bro. You got a boat and shit like that. You putting people on it, and somebody dies, and the only thing everybody on that boat can say is like, we don't know what happened. Allegedly, because I don't know what they have told the police and all that stuff, and I don't want to deem somebody um, uh, a murderer or an accomplice without really knowing everything. But it ain't looking good, and everybody's spidey senses is pointing at the fact that somebody on the boat knows something. You know, the people he went with, or how to find them, what boat launch they went out of, uh, all kind of shit. You know. So they can go in. People can. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about it. It's tragic though. But I gave y'all my experiences on boats. Uh, and what's up, Bruce? I tried to change my cell phone number, man, my cell phone name, and it changed that. So I got to fix it back. Um, you know, I don't think, like I said, that ain't got nothing to do with. I forget his name. The 19-year-old dying on the boat. I mean, dying out there on that water had nothing to do with hanging out with white people, man. Because I've been on with hundreds of white people on boats and being the only black dude. So that had to do with going out with the wrong motherfucking people. You know, and I don't want to label somebody as being a racist or luring them out there to get rid of them or insinuate, try to think what happened. But I tell you what though, most boating accidents and most mishaps and all that stuff evolves around motherfucking drinking. You know, evolves around motherfucking drinking. Drinking, I would say inexperience will be number one, and then drinking. Yeah, I would say inexperience will be number one, and then drinking. Um, and I'm not trying to be funny or nothing like that, but it's drinking first. From what I've seen, from what I've seen, I'm not worried about what everybody else got to say with that. I'm telling you from my experience on seeing what happens with people on boats. And experiences first. You know, And I know there's a lot of race warriors out there, but I'm gonna remind y'all again. I don't think it had nothing to do with that kid being with a group of white people. You know, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, because it could be if they did kill him, yeah. I guess they got all these stories straight. If they didn't kill him, I wouldn't be out running my mouth either. Because you suspect number one, and nothing you could say is gonna bring that kid back. Not only that, could make it worse because we live in a day and age where these motherfuckers would eat you alive on social media. So probably it is best that they motherfucking be quiet, whether or not they did it or not, because these motherfuckers will eat you a motherfucker alive. You know, motherfuckers these days will get the facts. They would get 100% facts from an incident or uh, something that's big and newsworthy, and they would still use they clout, uh, uh, all the numbers that they got on social media, all the subscribers, and all that shit, all the views and stuff. They still would use. They still would take that information to do the wrong thing with it, just so they can get more traction, just so they can get some more money. And then they'll find each and every little thing about that shit as it develops in the news to sit up over there, prelong them payments coming in. I ain't in Florida no more. I'm in Michigan. But thanks though, man. I know you don't swing like that, man. Some people out there like they be saying that shit like, but they won't say nothing about Farrakhan when he calls somebody when they call another man handsome, or Muhammad Ali when they call somebody another man handsome. I don't think anything wrong with that shit. You know, some people they ain't comfortable in their skin, and they ain't been raised right, and they just you know look at everything got to be gay. You know, you know. So I got that out the way. Now, what else can we talk about? Um, I don't know. We could probably talk about this stuff now. Now that the new talking point, you know, is is calling people socialists and communists. Well, this is where the moral ethics and beliefs comes in. I forget what the term is called, but if it's a democratic nation, but it can't be. Yeah, that's right, Bruce. That's right, Bruce. Because L Foul player here too. Everything can't be straight down the middle. What you want it to be. I mean, the way that we do healthcare, the way that we do some of the other stuff that veterans get to check them out, what they got to, whether they retired or they got medically separated and stuff like that. Social Security, a lot of stuff could be deemed a socialist thing. You know, and the communist thing, like, look at some of this shit that's going on right now. Dude said he'd be a dictator for a day. And nobody batted a motherfucking eye. You know? But I say all that to say, like, people gotta, like, calm the fuck down and look at the optics and look at what they trying to force feed your ass. Trying to get you to pick a motherfucking side and shit, to agree with somebody else's point of view over the other, knowing now well they ain't really talking about shit. Because it's really, to tell you the truth, the when you out there selling Bibles, and trying to push Christianity out there, you know what I'm saying? One must think that the devil don't fucking fight fair. You know what I'm saying? You think that you about to have a clean boxing match and he coming there like Margarito. You thought it was the devil does not fight fucking fair. You know? And what was Jesus all about? You know? People don't want to bring that up. What was he all about? Wasn't just necessarily it was more towards helping out who? The vulnerable. The people that need the help. Not them rich motherfuckers sitting up on that on not them rich motherfuckers sitting up over there with all their food, all their water, access to health care and all that shit. But you want to peddle religion when you're not religious, and you want to peddle religion with all that stuff I just said, and at the end of the day, you can't even say, hey, wait a minute, we need to work on this health care. Hey, wait a minute, these bills, the gas, the food, the basic necessities in life for the people that Jesus was out there helping, are not affordable. You know, are not affordable. You know, it's just not. And people are sitting up over here acting like this shit is sweet. It's acting like it's sweet like honey and shit like that. No, the fuck it ain't. No, the fuck it ain't. You know? And now look at us. Motherfuckers like, yeah, that you can't worry about the end, man. I bet a dude on that shit told him not. Still at it. If you was president at the time, it would have never happened yet with Russia and Ukraine. If that was the case, and you had all these ideas, how come you didn't say nothing to save all these lives? How come you didn't say nothing or stepped up to say something or to do something to save all these lives, or to save people's way of to help people with life? And this is all just my 3 cents, my opinion. I'm trying to hurt no motherfucking feelings and shit. But but that's not Christian like, is it? It's not Christian like, is it, huh? You know what I'm saying? you you talk about some Christian shit, and then you talking about some social. Oh, they socialists, they communists. Shit, turn water to wine. You know, took a piece of bread and turned that thing to a whole smorgasbord. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Moses took all them people and how'd he feed them? You know what I'm saying? How shelter them and all that shit. Took care of them. You know? And now look, everybody, and then people talking about some, oh, we ain't worried about all that shit. That socialist shit is stupid. They need to get rid of it and all this stuff, man. Like, that's some cold-hearted ass shit. Cold-hearted. Fucking, you got Haitians and Cubans and people coming from them little bitty ass motherfucking islands, trying to get away, for a better way of life, risking their motherfucking lives on them goddamn boats. Talking about something, you want to get rid of them, send them back to somewhere in Africa, a land they don't know. You know, but it's only the countries where somebody deemed shithole countries. Make that fucking make sense. That ain't Christian like. Then you try to bundle them up all up with the you try to bundle them all up, call them terrorists, sleeper cells, rapists, murderers, uh, scammers, and all that shit. When motherfuckers keep releasing all the scammers, but they got a certain complexion. Yeah, that's very Christian-like. Then in Key West, you go to Key West or you in the Florida Keys, you're gonna see a lot of Haitians out there that are the cooks, that are working in hospitality, that's working at the gas stations, Home Depot, working at places where people don't want to fucking work at, keeping the city going, keeping shit open, you know, making your life fucking easier. Bro, this game is, this ain't it. Oh, they could have worked on this, they could have worked on that a long time ago, and this and the third. Yeah, you think that shit is easy, and the shit ain't free. It ain't easy, it ain't free. They don't know English like that to go online and file all of this shit themselves. Even if you file all your shit yourself, it's still gonna cost you maybe a couple $100 or a couple thousand. I forget how much it costs, but the shit ain't fucking easy. Shit ain't fucking free. You spend all that money to get denied. You don't get that money fucking back. I smell some gangster. I smell some prime A gangster in the air, and I'm way over here. I smell that. Yeah, ain't nobody burning pine needles now. I probably smell Bruce through this goddamn phone. You know? It's and then old Mitch McConnell dying, and everybody like the shit that people saying about him, but I thought we were supposed to respect people who are in office. I thought we were supposed to be Christians and respect human life. You know. Now I don't know if he died or whatever, but they saying he ain't doing too good. They said he ain't doing too good, so he up there in age. You know. I ain't really paid too much attention to him, but maybe he tried to do right. Maybe he didn't. You know. But I'm pretty sure a lot of them politicians done a lot of things that they ain't too proud about. Especially now with these when he say jump, we say how high mentality ass people up in there. Yeah, but he been a corpse, but you know, look what people saying about him. My hand's dry as shit. Look what people saying about him. You know, it's not too nice, is it? No. You know, life as a public servant, right? Yeah. Then you know, Iran still got it going. This Iran shit is getting out of hand. You know, we've seen conflicts and wars come and go, and majority of them, I would assume that people would say the juice wasn't worth the motherfucking squeeze. I would assume majority of people would say it wasn't worth it. You know, and I just hope like none of us have to die for that shit. You know, just had a guy that I worked with, a pilot. He died the other day. Out there on a helicopter. Had to make an emergency landing, and I'm pretty sure he tried to hold that up as long as he can, so people can egress or try to save him. But they say he died. And it's the simple things that people can go over there and die for, supporting this shit, that you got to think about too. Supporting something that none of us really know why we doing it and for who we doing it for and all this other stuff, besides somebody said we gave us orders and said we got to go. So I guess we could boil down to it like we signed up to do it, and we got to do the right thing and do it, and to our best abilities. But sad and tragic, And then the youth, a lot of them, ready to go and all that stuff. But then when they get a little older and think about it, later on when hopefully they left whole, some of them probably going to be wounded mentally or physically. They probably going to say shit probably wasn't even worth it. Because we hear a lot of Vietnam veterans and Desert Storm and all that shit. We hear them. Iraqi War, the second time. We hear them. We hear what they have to say. War on terrorism. We saw how that planned out. So, I think the people that are for this shit, I think them motherfuckers should, no matter what age they is, should be forced to suit up and go first. I think they should be, if they old enough, I think them the ones that should suit up and be dropped off somewhere first. Expedite they training after boot camp and get them on over there. Because if all this stuff comes out to be some bullshit, like when my 3 cent is saying, I ain't gonna come out here and tell nobody I told you so. First thing smoking I'm gonna say is it's sad that people have to lose their life and lose their minds, either as a drone pilot or as a pilot, and have to see some stuff that splits that literally got them thinking about killing themselves or PTSD or something like that, and yeah, but you can't say that when you you can't, you can say that if you want, but you can't ask for something and then I'm not talking about you, but a lot of people can't ask for something and then ask how it's gonna be done. You know what I'm saying? Dictate the terms. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't say that. They can come out here and be pro, put the foot down on Iran, and they could be all like that if they want to, but can't dictate how it's gonna go down. Mm-mm. And even that, even if you know, eventually, what if the motherfuckers just got tired of getting their ass whooped? What if they got tired of getting pummeled and go to the extreme? You know, and a lot of people get hurt, and come to find out they never had nukes, never was building nukes, and even if they was, why are we not doing this to North Korea? This is all my 3 cents. Why are we not doing this to other countries that got nukes? Or that we have good intel on that they do have nukes. Why we ain't stopping them? Why we not putting sanctions on them, embargoes and shit on them? Why we not trying to rock they motherfucking economy? You know, why we not putting the motherfucking mud stumpers down on their ass? You know, these motherfuckers out there throwing paper planes with bombs on them. You know, and they doing what they can. They doing what they can, but the only significance that they can really move is straight to Hormuz. You know, that's the only thing they can really do. You know, they can't sink no ships that can fire back that got defenses on them. You know, they can't do nothing. They can't fuck with them. Can you behold carnage from above? Iran is getting fucked up one way or another. The nukes were the most extreme they could have gone, and now they can't. Iran wants to control an international body of water. It wasn't controlling it. They wasn't controlling it before all this, and now they're trying to do something that the same shit that we would do to other countries. Stop their trade routes in international waters. Like, look what we did in international waters. We blew a couple of goddamn boats up in international waters. Like, in my 3 cents, there's some contradictory to this, you know, and you know, folks can say whatever they want to, but there's perfect examples for this that was lived, live, and in color. You know, so what if somebody has drugs in international waters? It's international waters, you know, and not all that water that you're talking about is not all of it is international. You know, they have their own body of water, 25, 15, 50 miles, whatever, nautical miles off of their thing that is theirs. You know, and when we have a problem with somebody, the first thing we do is we put sanctions on them. We fuck up their trade routes and all that shit. And we dictate the terms on who they do business with, or we fuck them up. So it's kind of like the same thing. Blowing up drug boats is above board, but not in not international waters where you don't, going after cargo ships is terroristic shit. No, it ain't. It's terroristic shit when the narrative is terroristic. Is terroristic shit. This is just my 3 cents. When when somebody can dictate the definition and the terms of calling other people's actions, terroristic. Using force for political means can be deemed terroristic shit. Blowing up a group of children can be deemed terroristic shit. But it all depends on who controls the motherfucker, who got the big stick. To hit everybody upside the head to make them conform to this dictionary instead of really what it is. We stole cargo ships. You know what I'm saying? We took people's shit. I mean, I mean, it's gone. Ain't that about the same shit? You ain't got it no more. Ain't that about the same shit? And and it's not like they're trying to sink them. They're trying to disable. They hit them to disable them. I mean, from what I've seen, so it's kind of like apples and it's not like that, but it's like whatever, bro. Like, that's what you believe. That's what you believe. But at the end of the day, don't none of us control. We can control what we say it is individually, what we think it is individually, but we can't dictate on how somebody is or what somebody want to call it. And that's just the nature of the beast, bro. But I'm not gonna sit up over here and act like that shit ain't. I don't think none of this shit is the is a hill that anybody should die on. I don't think they had nukes. We've been through this before. With this nuke shit and who got it and who don't got it. We've been through it before, and history repeats itself. And I guess if they had nukes, like if they had them, would they let it go, or would it just keep people up off of them? Because what I've seen, don't nobody want to really go at it with somebody that got nukes. But it seems like Russia has nukes, and they ain't dropped one on Ukraine. And then I guess the whole thing about it is that this is a Islamic country, and that it seems like they want to deem all the Islamic countries as being vicious, erratic, and dangerous. But nobody would do this with Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Bahrain, Kuwait. Nobody want to say that. I mean, but people want to lump it up, and then people want to say, "Oh, we don't want Sharia law and all that shit up over here and stuff like that." But nobody goes after the Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses and these Jewish people up over here who take their own people to court. and set up their own schools, their own communities, and don't want to conform to the American way of life. They even born here and they have an accent. Not a New York accent, not a Minnesota accent, not a North Carolina, not a Southern accent, not a West Coast accent. Yeah, they don't want to conform to this shit. You know, they slither around. Some of these motherfuckers slither around ways to turn on the heat and motherfucking wintertime. Shit, circumvent the rules and regulations. You know, yeah. I think it's a bunch of BS, man. I think all this shit is just a bunch of BS. Just people scaring motherfuckers out they fucking draws. Scaring them out their own goddamn skin. You know? You know what I'm saying? You know? Damn, where you at, man? You ain't got nothing to say no more? Oh, shit. I got you quiet. Yeah, go on, listen to Big Mike. You know what I'm saying? Big Mike might not know what he's talking about, you know? Might not know what I'm talking about. Just my opinion, man. 3 cents. You know? I ain't trying to hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just little old me. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't know what to call all this shit, man. I don't know what to call all this shit. Motherfuckers drove up the gas prices. And then motherfucker want to turn around and have you be happy for lowering it 10, 20 cents when that shit way up there. I was writing the text, be right back. Nah, you wasn't writing the text. Yeah, you about to go tell. About to go tell. You heard what he said? You heard what he said about you? You heard what he said? Yeah. Yeah, it's looking good. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But anyways, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Oh. Let's see. Bam. I'm gonna turn them into some tacos real quick. Yep. Turn them into some tacos real quick. Get it popping. Actually, hold up. Let me move that wood so I can get some more. Smoke them. Trying to get some of that more. Smoke them, Jack. Yeah. Smoke that motherfucker. I've been smoking. Yeah, that's what I do. I've been smoking. So put all that. There ain't no more coal in there, really. Put that shit in there. Some other. Cut this a little bit thinner. Season them up again. Put it right back on. And see what this shit do. And on that note, shout outs to the whole entire world and everybody stay sucker free.